Welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're excited because I'm pretty excited. This video is going to be all about palettes that I am excited to be using in the autumn. Not just fall palettes for, the fall season, the typical things that you would think of, but also things for Halloween. Things that I'm going to split this up into two parts actually. I'm going to do like fall palettes and then I'm going to do Halloween palettes. I have my palettes right here. You know what, let's just get right into it. Who needs a long intro, right? Okay, easy peasy. Let's start with the palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now, the palette that I talked about in my last video. This is the Hudson Valley palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Gorgeous, like perfect autumn palette. Look at my eyes. It's an autumnal dream. Beautiful. And look at the shades. This palette celebrates the area that I am from, and it also celebrates the autumn season. I love it. I'm so excited to use this. I'm going to a party tomorrow, like a fall themed party. You know I'm going to wear this. You know I'm going to put this on my face, all over my eyes. You know it. It's going to happen. The next palette that I want to mention is the first palette that I did a video on. That's the Natasha Denona My Dream palette. And I mean, look at that. Isn't that beautiful for fall? Between the sort of peachy and orange shades, the cool sort of neutral shades, these like purple, burgundy, beautiful shades. This palette is, I should be doing this because the angle that I have, the light, this is better. Although no, I'm covering my candles. They're almost out, whatever. Anyway, this is just such a beautiful color story for autumn, like I said in my video that I did about this palette. But I have to say, there's another Natasha Denona palette that I'm even more excited to be using in the fall season. And that palette is the Sunset palette. This palette, I talked about it in another video recently. But this palette I got on sale from Sephora. This is usually $129. It's one of the bigger palettes from Natasha Denona. It's a little bit bigger than the what are now $69 palettes, considered the mid-size or midi, but the pans are a bit bigger, same number of shades, but the pans are a bit bigger. And yeah, this is what this one looks like. I really am in love with the shades in this one. This is a palette that I really was not, I had seen it several times, but I really was not like, oh, I really need to get my hands on that. But then when it went on sale and it was cheaper than the midi palettes, I was like, you know what? You guys, I love the Natasha Denona quality. The formula is so good, and I can't get enough. I see a lot of eyeshadow palettes with interesting color stories coming out all the time that I'm like, I don't need that. I have so much like Colourpop and stuff. I don't need all of these different palettes from all these different brands. But when it comes to Natasha Denona, I have to say, the quality, the formula, I want every color imaginable in the Natasha Denona formula. So I tend to buy these palettes, even if at first glance they're not the most exciting. I mean, like, I've tried this and I love this and I can't wait to use it more. I could probably do something similar to what I have on my eyes now using this palette. Like, this is a banger. I want to talk about one more kind of bigger, sort of higher end palette. This is the Naughty Nude palette from Huda Beauty, and I actually really love this brand. I love the shimmer formula from Huda. Like, it's crazy. Like, kind of hard to open, but I love their shimmer formula. And this palette, like, how perfect for autumn is this? Like, look at those tones. I mean, the red, I'm just gonna swatch this a little bit because, oh my god, like, it feels so nice. I love this. It's so nice. I do have a little bit of an issue with this one. You can even see in the pan how like flake-tastic it is, because when you touch it, it like kind of swirls. And so on the eye, it can be a little, it can have a little bit of a flaky quality to it that makes me look old. It makes me look old. So I have to be careful about how I use it. But I really do love that shade, and I really love this palette. I had gotten this on sale at the same time that I bought the Rose Quartz palette. I got it for their friends and family sale earlier this year. And so I haven't had much opportunity to really dig into some of these more sultry and beautiful shades because, I don't know, it just, spring and summer didn't really inspire me to use this one as much, but the fall is definitely, fall and winter, I'm definitely going to be dipping into this and getting some of those browns. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it. Speaking of Huda Beauty, I'm going to move on now to some smaller palettes. Super excited to play more with this one. You saw me use this one in my video where I was talking about products that are tempting me. And this one, I saw it in Sephora and I was like, oh yeah, baby, look at that. I had first thought that it was a little too similar to Naughty Nude, but it's not. Like I said previously, it's really not. These orange tones are much more like vibrant orange. These shimmers, so gorgeous. This is one of the one of the palettes that's made in China, whereas the bigger ones are made in Italy. So I've heard that the quality in these isn't quite as good, but I had never tried these before, and this one's good. Like, this is good stuff. It didn't get a lot of hype when it first came out because I think people were like, oh, more neutrals, whatever, but I think it's gorgeous and I can't wait to do more looks with it. I mean, those shimmers are so gorgeous. They're both like kind of duochrome, the purple to blue and then like the pink to gold. Actually, does that look purple to you? Might have a little bit of a purple shift as well. So beautiful. This marble shade up here is like a kind of a deep purple. I swatched it in store, but I haven't touched mine because I want it to stay beautiful and perfect for now. And those oranges, like I said in my last video, before I added the shimmer to that look, it was very like orange and autumn and beautiful. And so like the warm brown with the oranges. Okay, so my phone ran out of memory there, so I had to delete some things. But basically what I was saying, I don't even know where I put the palette on the floor. Basically what I was saying is that the oranges are beautiful and you can make gorgeous autumn looks with this palette. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about was a palette that I had gotten last year. I kind of got it like late. I really wanted to get it for the fall season, but I ended up getting it more like at Christmas time, and I did use it for a look on my Instagram, but then I didn't use it again, so I really need to use this palette. This is the NYX Ultimate Shadow Palette in the shade or variety Phoenix, and I mean, look at this. Are you kidding me? They do a good job. NYX does a good job with their like warm tone shadows, I think more so than the cool tone shadows. And oh, look at this. When I saw this, I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. I have to get it. And then I only used it once. Like, what am I, crazy? I need to use it more, and it's beautiful for the autumn. Such a fun color story. I want to do so many things with it. I want to talk about one more 9 pan. This baby is from Colourpop. This is Baby Got Peach. I don't have like the full-on orange one that they have called Orange You Glad. I just have the peachy one. I keep this little thing in here to like protect the, I don't know. But this one though, some of the shades are a little bit too yellowy for me because yellow shadows kind of make me look sick. I guess because of my undertone in my skin. But this is so freaking beautiful because some of these are very like kind of pinky. And so it's like the combo of the more orangey and then the more pinky sort of shades. I'm definitely going to have to do a few looks with it to match those autumn leaves on the trees. And speaking of Colourpop, I know I said that I didn't have their orange palette, or at least the orange 9 pan, but I did recently, very recently, get this little guy. This is On The Mango. It's a little quad. It's from their what was it, smoothie collection, and it was a fun little collection of colorful quads, and I had heard that the quads have great quality, so I wanted to grab these, but I was like, you know what, I have so many palettes from Colourpop, I have so many like colorful fun palettes from Colourpop, and I don't necessarily need these quads, but they did recently go on sale. I got this one, I got the pink one, and I got one more that I'm going to show you when I talk about the Halloween palettes that I want to get into. I think this one is gorgeous for fall. I got to do more looks with it. I did one so far, but I got to do a whole bunch more because it's gorgeous. I will say, like I said before, yellow toned shadows kind of make me look a little sick, so this one, I got to be careful how I use it. It's not like I can't use it, but I got to be careful about how I use it. The rest of this, though, perfect. Love it. Last palette that I want to talk about for like just fall in general is a really beautiful discontinued palette, so you can't actually get your hands on it. Honestly, I'm not sure if you can get your hands on the On The Mango palette either. Was there anything else that was discontinued? I don't think so. No. Right? Maybe the next one? I don't know. But this one is very special to me for a few reasons. One of the first makeup YouTubers that I started watching was Judy. Check out her channel. She's amazing. I love her. And so there's like a whole story behind when I saw her video announcing this. I was on vacation with my, at the time, boyfriend, now husband, and his family last year, and we were upstate, and we were like on a lake in this really nice house, and I remember waking up, going to lay out on like there was like a little bed in like a closed in porch sort of area overlooking the water, and I would do that every morning before my boyfriend would wake up, and I would just watch YouTube videos for a little while before I went down to the water, and then I would listen to Halsey and hang out by the water, and it was amazing. And so Judy announced this palette while I was up there, and I remember I was so excited for her. I was just like, oh, that's so cool. And then near Christmas time, I told my then boyfriend that I had that association with this palette. Like every time I saw Judy talk about it or anything, I thought of that memory of being up there with, you know, with his family and everything. And he took that to mean that I was trying to get him to buy it for me. And I was like, no, I'm not trying to get you to buy it for me. You don't need to buy this for me for Christmas or anything. That wasn't the point. I just wanted to tell you. But he bought it for me for Christmas. And I proposed to him that morning, which was pre-planned. It had nothing to do with the palette. So yeah, a lot of memories with this one. Even though I haven't used it that many times, I kept it in pristine condition for so long because I didn't really want to use it like that. I love that it's like a book. But yeah, I wanted it to be like perfect and pristine, and I didn't want to dig into it and ruin it, especially because this shadow down here has this gorgeous symbol. I still haven't touched that one. But I have used some of the other shadows. It's really, really beautiful, and I'm definitely going to be dipping into it some more for fall. The 1-year anniversary of its release recently happened, and Judy did a video about that, and it inspired me to play with the palette some more. And I did a fun peachy look. I kind of based my look off of her look. Okay, let's move on to like the super fun part. This is going to be the palettes that I'm excited to wear specifically in October for the spooky season. These are like my Halloween palettes. And I'm going to start with this little Colourpop palette. I was just saying how I had bought another palette from the Smoothie collection, and here it is. It's this adorable purple palette, and I tried it for the first time the other day. It's mad cute. So definitely excited to play with this one a bit for like spooky season, because I feel like purples are kind of great for spooky season. And keeping with the Colourpop thing, I'm just going to mention these two in the same sort of breath, the Wine and Only and the Orchid You Not palettes. They're like this super deep palettes from Colourpop. The Orchid You Not is the deep purple palette with some kind of pinky purples in it too. Really, really beautiful, perfect. Honestly, both of these palettes would be fine for the fall season in general, but I think especially around Halloween, like super, super great. And honestly, would recommend both of them. This is the Wine and Only palette. This one is gorgeous, these deep reds. I have a tendency to not use these palettes on their own because I can go a little overboard and then I look a little bit psycho, but like, you know, with these super deep colors, but they are beautiful, and maybe I'll try to do some looks with just these palettes on their own so I can get that kind of full usage out of them. But look at how nice, like, look at that. Do you see that? Look at that. They would go so nice with like these lips, this outfit. Perfect. One more Colourpop palette that I think is absolutely perfect for the spooky season. This is the Blowin Smoke palette. It had another name early on. I think it was called like Smoke Show, but I have Blowin Smoke, which is what it's currently called. So if you're looking it up on their website, it's called Blowin Smoke. This palette is perfect for the spooky season. I mean, look at the grayscale. Every single time I use this palette, I'm like, wow, I really like my look. Like, this one is a banger for any time of year, but especially when you're doing that whole like spooky black and white horror movie type of thing. Or just, you know, dramatic dark looks or whatever you want to do. It's so beautiful. It's so smoky. I love it. I love it. I love it. Perfect for Halloween. I want to talk about a couple of palettes that I know they're discontinued. I was going to be like, I think they're discontinued. No, I know they're discontinued. They came out last year for BH's sort of Halloween release, and I was so into it. And I bought 3 of them at first, and then I got another one later on, and then I got a 5th one after. When I do my palette video talking about all my eyeshadow palettes, I'll tell you the whole story of that. But the first wave of them that I bought included this one, which is the Absinthe palette. I love Absinthe, and I love this palette. It's a beautiful green palette. I do remember getting tons of sparkly fallout everywhere. Like, my whole hand was absolutely coated. I don't even remember which shade it was that I used that did that, but like, I swatched some of these recently and I was like, I don't even know which shade it was that did that to me, because these don't seem like, I don't know. But I haven't really used this palette since, kind of because of that, but I need to dip back into it for the Halloween season because it's so beautiful and so perfect for Halloween. One of my first looks, if not my first look that I posted on my Instagram, is using this palette. It's gorgeous and I love it. And the other one from this same collection, sorry, discontinued again, but this one I didn't buy it in the first batch of them that I bought, and I didn't even buy it later on when there was a sale. I ended up buying it from Marshall's. I saw it in Marshall's and I bought it. It's this bad boy. It's called Scorpion Sting, but it's got like that nice jack-o'-lantern vibe going on. More orange, fun sort of colors. I didn't lump this in with the other like autumn palettes because I thought just with the theming and everything, it kind of fit more with the Halloween palettes. And I feel like you can do some fun, spooky, jack-o'-lantern-y sort of things with this. It's a really nice palette. Really need to I dip into all of these again. I have the blue one, the red one, the purple one. These are all so good, and I need to play with them more. I think, for some reason, I think of them as being almost like Halloween makeup, but they're not. They're like legit eyeshadow palettes. I need to use them more. One last 9-pan palette that I want to mention for the spooky season. This is the Break the Rules palette. At this particular moment, you cannot get this palette. So this is a palette from It's Belle Cosmetics, which is a little indie brand. And right now they're in like a transition phase. I know earlier this year they moved from, I think it was Puerto Rico to the US, and then like last month or something they announced they were going back to Puerto Rico from the US. So they're doing the same thing this time that they did the first time they moved. They're closing up shop for a little while. They sold all their stuff and they're planning on coming back. This palette was kind of hard to get to begin with though, because they are such a small brand. They were doing a lot of like pre-ordering when they were releasing it in waves, and I wasn't really keeping up with it, but I knew that I wanted it because look at this color story. Just hold on a second. I gotta... Are you kidding me? Look at that. Look at that. And they're all beautiful, shifty, vibrant, sparkly shades. I wore this pink one the other day. So incredible. And so they're all shimmers, so I wouldn't use this palette on its own, but oh my god, as a companion palette, this is so incredible. Look at me. I'm turning my head with the palette. But oh my god, I'm definitely going to be using this during this season. Look at the green one up top. Like, what the hell? This one in the middle, it's kind of got like a orange, peach, pink, green. I don't even know what's going on with that one, but it's amazing. I love this palette. I got it eventually because they had stocked enough that it wasn't like you needed to pre-order it in order to get it. They stocked enough that if you just wanted to like buy it, you could. So I bought it and no regrets. Love this. I guess while we're on the subject of indie makeup, let's talk about this one. This is from Oden's Eye. It's in collaboration with Angelica or Angeshka. She goes by either, or Angie. And I was not really aware of her. I had heard people mention her, but I was not watching her videos until very recently. I think at the end of last year, right before she moved to the US. But I love her. I watch her videos all the time, and was super excited when she announced this collab palette with Oden's Eye. So cool. And then I saw the color story and I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting that. Look at that. So cool. And you might not immediately think Halloween, right? There's some nice greens, some fun pinks, but like these, the bottom row here, this is like a really deep, like plum shade. Like I don't know if you can see it in the pan, but like let's do a little swatchy swatch. I'm just gonna kind of blend it out with my finger so you can see that it's got like that plum thing going on. It's kind of like the same color as my shirt. I mean, it's perfect, and I do think that this would make for some really fun looks in the spooky season. This is a metallic black. Like, are you kidding me? Shiny black, so beautiful. And then there's also this this duochrome called River. Oh, this is so freaking cool. I don't have space to like swatch it. I want to get it all over my shirt, but it's like this super sparkly, amazing. Oh, I love it. So combined with like these two, you could do, I'm definitely going to be playing with this closer to Halloween time. In a similar vein, we're going to go back to Colourpop real quick. This palette, the Nightmare Before Christmas palette, they came out with this one right around Halloween last year. I love this palette. I don't know why everyone was so mad. People are very like passionate about this this franchise, this movie, and I don't know, I'm like, it's good and all, but people like lose it. It's like that whole like Hot Topic soft goth girl thing, and I'm really not into it. But like this orange, I freaking love this orange. It's like, I didn't expect to love it so much, but then I put it on my eyes one day and I was like, oh my god. It's like the perfect like Halloween orange, and I love it. These pinks, so nice. This duochrome here, so nice. Yeah, like the blue, and then I don't know. I just really like this palette, and I'm definitely going to be using it in the Halloween season. I'm going to kind of breeze through these next two because these are sort of like honorable mentions more than anything. I'm going to probably try to make a conscious effort to use this one because I don't know, I definitely wanted this. A lot of people said that it was great, and it does have, I mean, the packaging and the theming just kind of sold it, right? And there are some really cool shades in this, but I don't know, I feel like I have more fun things from other palettes. I don't know. I gotta try though. I gotta try to like really dig into this one this year because I feel like it deserves it, right? This one though, this one I thought had more of spring colors in it when I saw it. Doesn't it feel more spring? I don't know. This one I'll probably try to dip into at some point just because I feel like I need to. I honestly wouldn't have even bought this one. It was just at the time the lip, what were they called? Lip creams, whatever. They had sold out individually, so the only way I could get them was in a little bundle with this guy. So I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll get it. But then I really didn't use these shadows after. I do like that gold though, I will say. Well, I will say I like that one there. It's kind of cool. But I don't know. I got to experiment with this one. So yeah, those two are kind of more like honorable mentions than anything else, but I will attempt to use them. The last two palettes that I want to talk about today are from Natasha Denona. Really? Halloween palettes from Natasha Denona? Have you seen Trio Chrome? First of all, the packaging. Oh yeah. But also, look at this color story. That is a Halloween color story if I ever saw one. Like, are you kidding me? Like, that's more Halloween than that Hocus Pocus one, the one from last year. Like, there's an orange kind of a row, a purple row, and like a green row that kind of gives like toxic waste kind of green vibes. I think this is for sure a Halloween palette, and it came out around Halloween time last year. I don't know if it came out before Halloween though. I don't really know. I know it came out around that time though. And I feel like if this had been released by any other brand, this would have been like a Halloween palette. It would have had like pictures of like bats and vampires and spooky castles and houses and picket fences and scarecrows and ghosts and jack-o'-lanterns and all that on the packaging. But because it's Natasha Denona and it's supposed to be like makeup for grown-ups, they didn't do that. It is definitely a Halloween palette though. I mean, you kidding me? Look at that. I love it. And I'm definitely going to be, I might do a series of videos, or maybe just one video, about like looks that you can do with this palette for Halloween. We'll see. And then finally, this bad boy, Circo Loco. Tell me that this isn't like perfect for like, let's play dress up. Let's put on costumes and go trick-or-treating. Like, you can throw a look together with this and be so Halloween. And look at those oranges. There's 3 of them. These 2, and then like this one's almost like an orangey gold. This is such a fun palette that you can go ham with for Halloween. I really, really love this one, and I'm probably going to be using it closer to the actual, you know, Halloween sort of season. Yeah, I love this one a lot. And again, Natasha Denona formula is incredible. So I think that's it. I can't really think of any other ones that I want to include. But tell me in the comments what you think of my picks. Do you have any of these palettes in your collection? Are you gonna get any? Did watching my video make you make you want to go out and get some? I will list all of them in the comments, or in the, not the comments, in the description. But yeah. Hey. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will be seeing you again very soon. Happy Halloween.